Hello, everyone. Welcome to second season of Everything Websites. I'm really excited that we can start rolling this out. And if you didn't watch previous season, it was a bit different than this one gonna be. In terms that we're gonna try to have longer episodes so that we can talk more and provide more quality content. And we're not gonna have one episode more than like 2 or more episodes a month. We're just gonna stick with one. So we're gonna focus on quality over quantity. And in this episode, my guest is Sergej. And Sergej is a co-founder of Optibase and Flowout. If you didn't heard about it, you can check online. But Flowout is one of the largest. I can really say that one of the largest Webflow agencies. And Optibase is an A/B testing tool, one of the best on the market. So, yeah, Sergej, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stefan. I'm really excited to be here as a guest. I saw that the first season was a great success, so hopefully this one will be even better. So thanks again for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem, man. I think we have a lot of things to discuss. And I know that you also have a designer background like me. Is that right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And beside that, you like co-founded a bunch of companies. Like Optibase and Flowout are not the only one. And I just want to ask you, how everything started? What was, you obviously tried to find something with all of that, right?
So I'm gonna start at the beginning. So just for you to know, I don't have like 150 different companies. I have only a small amount of them. But as I started out, as you said, as a designer, I was into freelancing a lot. I joined a couple of product teams as well. I've been in agencies in the past, and that's where I met Giga. So he's one of the other co-founders, and Luca is the third one. And then we decided to try to build something on our own. It kind of grew out of there. So the first part that we wanted to build was like kind of, hey, let's get all the ideas together, see which one of those sticks, and then build upon it. And Flowout was one of the biggest ideas. Luca started it, Giga joined, and then me. And it kind of grew out of there. So we started building our own products after that because we had a very big need for products because we were focusing a lot on Webflow's ecosystem. It didn't have that much support for video hosting, for instance. And then Webflow was born. It didn't have support for multi-language, so localization like it does have now. And we built Linguana. We successfully exited that company as well. And now the third thing was we saw a very big need for A/B testing, even before Webflow acquired IntelliMize. And because we were working with clients all the time that said, hey, we want to test this out. Do you have a tool that you could do that? And we didn't have it, so we just built it. So Optibase was kind of the third tool. We now release the fourth tool, which is kind of SyncMate. And SyncMate is like a tool for easier integration of CMS and other open-ended APIs. So you can easily sync data between Webflow CMS and others. So all of that grew kind of from our need to have those tools. And then we just decided, hey, if there isn't one tool or somebody that's going to build those tools, why couldn't it be us that build those tools for us and then for others? And coming from, because we wanted our own problems solved, we saw a big need in the market that other customers actually want to have those same tools. And we just released them one by one. And we've been working on them throughout the 2 years that we've been working on products now.
That's awesome. It's a pretty good mindset, because you see something that you have issues with, you build it for yourself, then you see that someone else other people have also the same problem, and then you provide that solution to them. It's a great way. Yeah. And okay, so you are a designer, and then Luca and I actually forgot the third person you meant. Yeah. So they are like developers.
So no. So we are the three kind of co-founders that started Flowout, and then all the others. I started as a designer, then product designer and product manager. Luca went almost the same path as me, and Giga is a developer. So we've kind of set our roles apart. So I'm taking care of the products on Flowout side. Luca and Giga are more focusing on Flowout as an agency, while Giga is doing the the operations, taking care of
Yeah.
everything else. So he's the CEO. And Luca's taking care of marketing, but not just for Flowout, also for products. So
Yeah.
he's responsible for kind of selling to the customers. I'm responsible
Mhm.
for building the products, and Giga's taking care that everything works together as it should, and there's no
Yeah.
problems between team members or anything else.
Yeah, I know that you guys grew quite fast. I mean, not like super fast, like not in 1 year, but still. So, how did you shift that mindset from being a designer, like really building stuff, to being a leader? Let's say, so because you're not very small agency, so you have probably a lot of other people working with you. So, how did you shift that mindset from this to that?
For me, it was very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Vika and Luga, it might be easier in them, but for me, the transition to being a lead was pretty hard. So when we started, I was doing the design, and then we hired another designer, and then I had to lead that designer. And then we hired
Mm,
more designers, and now Flowout has, I think, 9 designers in the team,
mhm.
and I offloaded everything to our lead designer. But the transition from being a designer, working on projects and
Yeah.
websites and doing apps and stuff like that, to then leading the team and taking care of so that everybody is growing, that everybody has work to do, and that everybody knows what the next step is when working on a project or working with a customer. That was really hard for me. So I looked for advice everywhere. So I talked to a couple of different mentors. I said, hey, I'm having issues with, because I always thought that I can do it better than everybody. And the biggest thing that I
Mhm.
learned was that that's not true. People can do it, can do an amazing work by themselves. You just have to let them fail a couple of times if they're not ready to do the good job at the end. But I mean, for me, everybody in our team, there's around 50 people now at Flowout, is doing an amazing job. They're all great people. They're great developers. They're amazing designers. And I think the biggest part is trusting them that they can do the job. For me, it was hard to trust other people at the beginning. Now that I've learned how to do it, I just trust them, and they're
Yeah.
doing an amazing job every day.
Yeah, I think I really understand you in that part because I had similar issues as well, because I was also doing a design, and then that mindset to shift from you building everything to giving someone else to do it is really difficult because you always expect everybody to be like you, but everybody has its own way of doing stuff. You just need, like you said, you just need to trust them and trust, but as you know, so there is also a way that you need to build like a good system and process, and then you kind of give them the work, but also be there for them in case they need some advices or whatever they need, right?
Yeah, I agree. It's mostly so being a leader is about leading. It's not it's about showing the way and then trusting that they can go on that way themselves instead of
Yeah,
just pushing them or driving them by their hand. They have
micromanaging
to
them.
do the yeah, yeah. Yeah, we can do that. I mean, I didn't like that in the past. I had bosses like that. I had
Yeah.
people that were overseeing my work like on Friday at 7 or 8 p.m. in the office. And they were like, can you put that button over there? And I was like,
Oh my
why
god! And
can't
they're
you
like
just leave me work?
staying in Figma and watching you as you move. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
terrible.
I agree. That's not good.
Yeah, it's the worst experience. I know, especially in a creative business, because that ruins all creativity that you might have. I
Yeah,
know.
I agree.
And yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the Flowout. So Flowout grew into a very large agency. So how that happened? I mean, you don't need to go in like super details, but how did you guys grew from like like a couple of guys to becoming like a large agency?
So I think for us, we grew very naturally. So we didn't overhire people at the beginning, and we never had a problem with having more people to increase our burn rate or stuff like that.
Mhm.
It was primarily like we saw a need as we need somebody else, and we slowly onboarded him. There were times when we had too much work and the team couldn't handle it, and then we
Mhm.
said, "Hey, we really need some help. We need to onboard another designer. We need to get another developer. We need help on marketing." And then we offloaded the work that took the most time for us founders and everybody else leading the company. We offloaded that work to somebody else. So we grew very naturally. And with the more clients that we got, it was also, we had to have more people that work on those clients. So while we grew, we hired more and more and more, and now we're at around 50 people. But the biggest thing at the very beginning was Luca did a bunch of cold outreach. So that got us started, and that got us the first very big clients. And then from there, we kind of grew, the word spread. Everybody knew that Flowout is kind of the new agency with a retainer that they can trust, that we're building good stuff. We did a lot of testing. I know that Luca did a bunch of different posts, even on Reddit and other
Yeah.
platforms, to see what would stick. And we just tested everything. I mean, all the ideas, different pricings. We had different pages, different landing pages, different wording, content. We tested a bunch of different things, and a lot of it didn't work. So the stuff that you
Yeah.
see now did work, and we just kept it, but a lot of it didn't work at all.
Yeah. About that, I mean, I know that we all make these mistakes and we learn on our mistakes. It's best if you can learn on someone else's mistakes, but it's not always the case. But are there any like big mistakes that you guys made and made you improve so much from that?
So very big mistakes. I would
Yeah.
say that at the very beginning, I would say start selling first instead of building or hiring people. You have to sell first.
Big
And I
mistake
think
I
that
made.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you start selling is the most important thing, even with an agency or with a product. So
Yeah.
especially with product, I made that same mistake. I built a product, I sold it, but I didn't sell it as much as I should. And you can't just build something. You have to sell it, and you have to sell the
Yeah.
idea. And only then, when you sell something, you can start building it. So that was probably the biggest mistake that I learned, that especially in product, that you have to sell it before you build it.
Yeah. I remember that I made really the same mistake. I thought it's better first to build a proper team that's gonna work well, and then we can improve. I mean, I know that you need to work on sales and marketing, but not. I was more focusing on building a team than working on sales marketing, and that obviously was a big mistake, which I needed to fix. But now, yeah, I learned from that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, yeah, I wanted to ask you something about. Um, no, it was not that. Okay, never mind. I'll get back to this part.
What about
Uh,
on your side? If I maybe ask you, what was so you said that you've done the same mistake. Is there anything else that you've done with your agency that you think was a big mistake at the beginning?
Well, yeah, like I said, I think the biggest mistake was that just trying to focusing on building a team first, like the technical team, product team, and then building a sales and marketing team. I should have built a sales and marketing team first, and then a product team second, because yeah, you cannot build anything if you don't have anyone to build for. And while we're at the agency talk, I know that a lot of agencies, not including me, but I know also a lot of other big agencies. They like, I think it's the same thing that all agencies face, is that you don't have like a constant month to month, same growth and income and stuff. So there is months that you have a great or even huge income, and there are months that are not that great. So how did you guys dealt with this kind of problem? It's like a very difficult problem for a lot of people.
It's a very difficult problem, and I think it could be that agencies agencies don't work because of it sometimes. So you build an agency and then you have downtime, and the agency just
Mhm.
falls apart.
Yeah.
I think for us, the biggest realization was that we should put everybody on retainers. So we stopped treating customers of the agency just like a per project pricing, and it's a one-time thing for them. We
Mhm.
started treating the customers of Flowout more like partners. It was like,
Mhm.
hey, we want to work with you. If you want to work with us, you have to come on with a retainer for Flowout. So this is like more like a partnership, and this helped us a lot. So it wasn't like, if you do a lot of per project pricing, you can have those big months, and then you have a bunch of work, and then you need to hire 10 more people to do all of the work. But then
Yeah.
after 3 months, you might not have another customer, and you
Mhm.
still have 10 people that you have to pay. So by having a retainer for everybody that you're working with, you know that they're going to stay on longer. So for instance, one of the clients that I think Sandlane was one of the very first clients that we have, they're still with us. So it's like, it is a
Nice.
partnership on the long run. It's like, we support you in whatever you want to build. We're the kind of the offsite team that you need, that you can count on, that you can rely on. and that's going to be doing the work for you. But you have to trust us, and we have to trust you that you're going to pay the money
Yeah.
at the end. Um,
Was building this products also one of the reasons to like stabilize incomes?
So yeah, uh, products for us. So currently, they're still not the majority of the revenue that we do.
Yeah.
But in the next couple of years, we want to switch it. So currently, the agency is doing the majority of the amount of the revenue. But maybe in 3, 4, 5 years, products will be outgrowing the revenue from the agency. So that is
So it's a
definitely the plan.
long-term game.
Exactly. So we are all product people and we all want to build products. The agency just got us to a point where we can afford to build products. So
Yeah.
it was like we're still focused on the agency. It's doing amazing work. We all love working with it and everything. But so Optibase, Webflow, SyncMate, that's kind of our passion and that's what we want to build.
Yeah.
And Optibase is really catching up right now. So I think it's going to be good.
But as you see, um, yeah, your like ideal would be to build products, but if you didn't start with an agency, maybe most likely you wouldn't have these products. Maybe you would have something else. But as you know, if you want to start with a product, then you need to have a really amazing unicorn idea where the investor gonna support, which is very difficult. Uh, and the working with agencies is what inspire you guys to actually have all of this, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, we wanted to build products in the beginning. We just saw that it's very, very hard to come up with a very good idea that's solving a very unique problem for a very specific niche of people. So it was very hard for us to sell those products. And even when talking with investors, we were in contact with a couple of different VCs that could invest into those products. But in the end, it was better to follow up with the agency, create the
Yeah,
revenue for ourselves, and then bootstrap both the agency and the products to then keep most of the ownership with us. And that alleviates all the pressure that potential VCs
yeah,
might give on us. So we're currently not stressed about not reaching quarterly goals and giving a report to our investors. All of the products are profitable. Everything is going according to plan. And even the agency is very profitable. So it's like
yeah.
there's no need for us to look for outside money, for
Yeah,
instance.
yeah, congrats on that. I mean, I think it's really it's better to go like that than, like you said, to have investors that's gonna push you to hit certain marks, and then it's so exhausting, and I wouldn't recommend to anyone, to be honest.
Yeah.
Uh, but in your opinion, what is what do you think? What is the current state of Webflow agencies this year?
I think that the number of agencies focusing on Webflow in the past year or maybe 2 years has just grown exponentially.
Yeah.
When I look at a Webflow Slack channel that we have for partners, it's like instead of having 200 or 300 partners inside or even less, I think at the beginning there were less than 100 partners of Webflow, so partner agencies.
Yeah.
Now it's like more than 1,000 people inside of the Slack channel. So it really, really grew. I think the market is very good. So the environment for building stuff with Webflow is amazing. There's still a lot of potential. Webflow itself is really growing. We're just surfing the wave that it creates with it. So I think that's amazing. So Webflow is an amazing product. The agencies are all doing an amazing work. But there are a lot of smaller agencies right now. So there's not a lot
Yeah.
of very big agencies
Yeah.
focusing on Webflow. They're still doing WordPress or custom solutions and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I think that's going to change probably in the next year or maybe 2 years to a year, probably going to change. I think a lot of bigger agencies like 200, 300, 400 employees are going to start jumping on the bandwagon.
Are there any Webflow agencies with that many employees? I don't think there are currently.
Uh, I don't know. I don't think so.
No
400,
one.
definitely not. I know there are agencies that are working with Webflow that have like 200, 300 employees, but
Yeah.
the majority of their business isn't coming from Webflow specific stuff. It's
Yeah.
like still a very big agency. They're multinational, but they are doing Webflow side as well, but they're not like specifically
Yeah.
Webflow oriented. Yeah.
Yeah. But as we know, I mean, Webflow is so much focusing toward enterprise solutions, enterprise companies. I mean, that's the way they want to go. and I think it's pretty good. They have a good focus, and with all of that in mind, what do you think would agencies should focus on? What kind of should they focus on enterprise companies like or SaaS? I mean, a lot of them focus on SaaS or startups. What do you think would be like it's the best angle here,
That's a very hard question, and I
especially
don't
for
know
the
if
new
I,
ones?
yeah, I think it's best to carve your own kind of niche if you can. So,
Mm,
uh, maybe if we would be starting out with a new agency, we might say, hey, we're only doing for fintech startups. Or we might say, hey, we're only building for indie startups or stuff like that. Or we are only building for health companies in the US or something like that. So I
mhm.
think it's good that you focus on a very specific niche because even if you're building with Webflow, there's still a lot of different categories that you can cover.
Yeah,
So focusing on one or two maybe out of those is probably the best way. I don't know if addressing, for instance, building crypto websites. I think a lot of agencies are doing that, focusing on the
yeah,
crypto side. But there's a lot of potential, maybe like you mentioned, SaaS websites. That could be a good opportunity for somebody. It could be. I know when I was younger, somebody joked around that he will build a business that will only target churches and religions in
yeah. Why
communities, and
not?
then built only for those, right?
Yeah,
Um, you
I
just have
mean,
to
like
find a very specific. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, I mean, no, sorry for interrupting you. I just want to say that, just like you mentioned, there is like a lot of agencies nowadays, a lot of freelancers. And because of that, I think, like you said, we need to niche down as much as possible. Just to have like a very specific niche and focus and to do only that. Because if you do everything, you're not going to survive. I mean, there is
Yeah.
so many other people. It
Yeah.
is difficult. Um,
Definitely not at the beginning. So, I mean, when you grew, you can focus on more stuff and then you can support more different categories or industry that you want to
yeah.
work with. But at the very beginning, I think that the crucial thing is you really have to know who your ideal customer profile is, what they do, how they behave, how they make decisions, and everything like that, and focus just on them.
Okay. And what do you think is the biggest challenge actually right now to scale with the enterprise projects and clients? Because like I said, Webflow is going towards that direction. So it's not that easy for smaller agencies. So what do you think is the biggest challenge for to scale for that?
So selling to enterprise clients, I think, is mostly based on trust. So if you're a very small agency, you don't have a lot of credibility in the market. Not a lot of people know you at the very beginning. You don't have many case studies that you can publish on the website, and you can't build trust with a potential customer of yours. So I
Mm,
think that's the biggest problem that everybody that has a smaller agency or a freelancer right now will have to tackle. Well, if Webflow is focusing on the enterprise clients, there's also the sales cycle. It's a lot longer than it is with startup, for instance, where you want to push something and have a landing page out in 2 or 3 weeks. With enterprise clients, it's like it can be like 2 months, 3 months, half a year, even a year sometimes.
years.
Where
Yeah.
yeah, and they can't make a decision. It's like the process inside of an enterprise company is very different to what we're used to from startups, smaller agencies, and stuff like that. So you have to keep that in account. So for if you're a freelancer right now building for Webflow and are trying to attract enterprise customers, I think you really have to build enough trust. And you can do that by doing multiple things. It can be case studies, it can
Mm,
be testimonials, but you have to have those enterprise customers trust you based on the appearance that you have on your website, on socials, and stuff like that. But you have to be trustworthy.
yeah. Yeah, there, like you said, they need to form trust. There is also connections. I mean, you need to go to you need to physically connect with people. I know that there is a lot of, and I don't prefer that, but still, that you really need to physically connect with people, to go to events, to visit your clients, maybe because that's the way that you can grow. That you can grow, and I appreciate really much Webflow because they gave you for. They gave us, I think they gave like for a lot of people access to the enterprise solutions, even if you're not enterprise level agency, where you can test those stuff and see how things work. Because the large agencies have like a lot of team members, it's very complex. So I think it's pretty. I mean, there is a lot of ways, like you said, to work towards that, and I think they should just go one step at a time. And what do you think? How will Webflow agencies look like in a couple of years?
Oof. Uh,
Will it be
that's really
more
hard.
of them, or will it be like more of smaller agencies, more of larger?
Mm, So let's assume that Webflow is in a couple of years going to be an enterprise only solution because the market will shift and there's going to be new competitors to Webflow that's going to be focusing specifically on landing pages, smaller websites, and won't
Yeah.
cater that much to enterprise customers. So that's our assumption. That's our hypothesis for the next, I don't
Mhm.
know, let's say after 5 years. In that case, I think the number of agencies focusing on doing Webflow work will dwindle down. So there are not
Mhm.
going to be as many agencies that work specifically on that. So the problem I see is just because of the trustworthiness that I said before, it's a lot harder to trust a specific individual that's working on Webflow or a very small team, like 4, 5, 6 people, to work on your enterprise website. And you have like 500 to 1,000 employees. The website is like 300 different pages. You are building with 3 different CMS systems and need to have an implementation with a lot of other stuff as well.
Yeah.
I think it will the enterprise customers would much rather go with an agency that has more people, more manpower, has more experience. And I think because of that, the smaller agencies might shift to another tool. So it could be Framer, it could be something else. It doesn't. There will be somebody else that's going to take that spot. And I think that, so if we're still talking about the assumption that Webflow is going to strictly be enterprise, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there are going to be smaller websites on Webflow, but we'll see. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I
nobody
agree.
knows the future.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, to talk a bit about more about Optibase. So I know you said why you started it, but was like there was there like any specific project that you worked on and you said like, man, I would like to have like a good native solution for for A/B testing, or it was like a series of projects and then you got an idea for that?
Yeah, I think it was a series of projects. I mean, myself, Luca, and Giga, we all have our own list of ideas that we could work on in the future.
Yeah. Great.
And then when the time comes, for Optibase, we saw a very big need, and we also had an opportunity because we exited Linguana, which was the multi-language tool
Mhm.
we exited that a while ago. And then we saw a need, I think last January or February, we launched um, the full life package, which is going to be like a one-time payment and you get all the features forever.
Yeah.
And then we kind of sold a bunch of those and then we built a product and then we got from there. But yeah, it was a multiple of different clients requesting, hey, do we have a solution for that? We didn't have it. We saw a big need. We gathered the team together. So there's another co-founder, Jure, on Optibase.
Mhm.
So there are 4 co-founders on Optibase. And we built it with him, and it was pretty
Yeah.
easy. I mean, he's an amazing guy. He does an amazing work, so amazing developer.
How did you guys position because right now Webflow does have their own native solution, and before there were other tools. I actually forgot there was one used a few times. I forgot the name. I think it was VWO or something. That a lot of people know and use. So how did you see? Do you see this as a competitors, or how do you position among all of these tools and the native Webflow solution as well?
So both VWO and Webflow Optimize are one of the 2 biggest competitors that we have. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of other as well, but those are the 2 main ones that come up on basically all the demos that I do.
Yeah.
Every email that I get from either enterprise or smaller businesses, hey, we're looking at Webflow Optimize. It looks great. We had a demo with them, but we're trying to see other tools. And then we show them Optibase and they like it and it's great. So for the positioning part, currently, the price is one of the biggest differentiators that we have. So Optibase is a lot more robust than Webflow Optimize and VWO. It's missing some features like Webflow Optimize has a very good personalization feature. So you can target specific audiences with the variants that you create. We're missing that currently. It's on our roadmap and it's coming, but right now we don't have it. It's the same with the AI features that Webflow Optimize has, for instance, right? So it has an option to then auto create different text variants for titles, descriptions, and stuff like that. And I bet they're going to be upgrading those AI features in the future. That's also on our roadmap. So I think we're catching up. We will definitely be working on the pricing for positioning currently. Well, when we started out, because we knew it was a tool specifically focusing on creating conversion events and creating A/B tests inside of Webflow. We niche down specifically on smaller startups, small to medium-sized businesses that don't have a very large amount of budget to set aside for testing purposes. Now that we just introduced the new redesign. So now we're going to be introducing more and more and more features, and we'll be on par with what Webflow Optimize offers or what WO offers. There might be an increase in pricing. We still believe that the pricing on other tools is a little bit outrageous sometimes, but
it's huge. I mean, in Webflow as well, because price dictates how many visitors you have and stuff. It could be super huge. Like, come on. I mean, it's okay for large agencies, but like you said, the smaller ones.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential. So for the enterprise client, it doesn't matter if they pay 10, 20, 30K more at the end of the year to have a testing solution, right? To have a SaaS that they can test with. For smaller companies, that is a very big issue. So sometimes companies to set aside 20 or 30K just to test a title or the compositions on your website doesn't make sense. And we want to offer something to them as well. So currently we are addressing that market a lot more than we are addressing the enterprise market, but we are trying to lean into the enterprise market as well. We do have a couple of enterprise clients with a very large amount of traffic coming in. But the number of those clients is so proportionally, it's a lot smaller than the number of smaller to medium-sized businesses that we have.
You said it's going to be a bit increase in pricing. I mean, that's reasonable because given the everything that happens happening in the world, and all the prices are going up. But I just want to ask you, does that mean it's going to be competitive to Webflow and BWO, or is going to be still affordable for smaller companies?
So we still haven't decided about that. But hopefully, I want it to be affordable for everybody because I think that conversion rate optimization is something that everybody should focus on. Be it an agency, be it an e-commerce company working on their website, be it something else. I think it's valuable for everybody and it should be part of their digital strategy. So it's not all about SEO. It's not about content. It's not about just building the design for the website and creating landing pages and funnels. I think CRO, so the conversion rate optimization, should be a crucial part of every big digital strategy that a company has. And because of it, we still want to make it affordable. So it's not going to be stupendous amounts of money that you have to pay every month just to run a couple of tests. But the price increase will have to come because we're giving it more features inside, more of everything. So there will be an increase.
I always split websites in two categories. There's one category where people use websites for presentation purposes, and that's why you see the websites on awards and stuff like that. And then you have website that focuses on conversion. Before my agency was more like awards type, but now we're more conversion type. So I know that there are people bashing on the awards and stuff, but they're like two different mindsets, and for a very good reason. But if you are a person that's focusing on conversion, doesn't matter if a designer or a company, what do you think how everybody needs to think about testing that is beyond just changing a button, a color on a button or a micro copy and stuff like that? Well, what do you think how they should look at this kind of stuff?
So exactly like you said, it's not just about having a different color button or having a different copy on that button. It's more about addressing a different pain points that you are solving with your product or service or whatever else. So for instance, you might be for agencies, for instance, if you're how would I say it? So the visitor of your website might not have just one problem that you can solve. And you can test out different problems that you can solve for them and see which one of those sticks best. So for instance, for an agency, it could be like, hey, increase your conversion rate optimization or increase the time on page that you have or different metrics that you can count on. And I think it's like that. I don't have a very good example right now, but I think it's more about not just the click here to get a demo or click here to learn more or stuff like that. It's more about the actual content that you're trying to test. So for me, the biggest part is addressing different pain points that they have to see which one triggers the most conversions. And then I know that pain point is really, really good to solve because it's the biggest problem that people have. And I might be playing around with 3 different pain points that people have, and I have the same solution, and it solves the same 3 problems, but I just don't know which one of those 3 is the biggest one.
Yeah.
So I would say that conversion rate optimization, you should focus on your ideal customer persona and see what kind of problems that they have and what kind of problems you can solve, and then address all of that. You can play around with the composition, but primarily the content should be the main key, the key thing while you test it, and then all the other assets, the composition, the colors, everything else is just on top of the content that you're trying to test. And it should be an integral part of your digital strategy. That's what I believe. So even if you're building a website, for instance, so if you're building a website and you're doing it with the waterfall methodology or agile or whatever it is, you're at the point where you want to build a website and you start with a wireframe and you start with content, right? And then you go on to design. I think that's the perfect stage to start thinking about what you're trying to test. Because you're still at the stage where you can see the wireframe. You're not focusing on the assets, but hey, instead of addressing people in the title here with this specific problem or solution, I might test, okay, what if I put the solution instead of here? Would that be better than addressing the pain points? Or should I say how I help this X customer with the same solution, or I don't know, something else? I think at that stage, it's the perfect time to start thinking about what you're trying to test, what you're trying, and test as many things as possible, especially if you have the traffic to support that.
I always advise because there are different tools for different purposes. I always advise, for example, use a Hotjar. It's a great tool. I don't rely so much on numbers itself because they can be misguiding you. But when you use tools like Hotjar, it has a heat map that cannot lie a lot because then you see how people position and where they go, what they do. And then from that information, then you use tools like Optibase to do the testing on exactly what you should be testing for, and not just like randomly testing buttons or text and stuff like that.
I agree. I'm glad that you mentioned both heat maps. So that's one of the other things that we're working on at Optibase. So
that's
heat
awesome.
maps are coming. User recording session are coming as well. So it's exactly like you
Everything
said.
is going to be included in the one plan.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So Optibase is going to be the one-stop shop for you to optimize your web experience. You can set up conversion events, you can see the analytics, you can set up tests, and you can see how users behave on your website. So that's kind of what we are aiming for with Optibase, and all of that is coming.
Yeah. Because then that would also save people a lot of money because they don't need to pay for Hotjar or some other tool or Webflow. Webflow's native tool, they can just use one tool, which going to be a bit more expensive, but hopefully not too much, so that can cover all of this stuff. I mean, there's like going to be multiple tools in one. So it's a great way to improve. I think it's a very good improvement. And I want to ask you, so what is why? I mean, okay, so you partnered with Broworks and you partnered with many other agencies. So what was the reason of partnering with all of us? I mean, why that made sense for you?
So at the beginning, we were thinking about how we could help our customers. So we built a tool. We built Optibase. You can set up tests. You can set up conversions. The problem that we discovered was that those small to medium-sized businesses don't actually have experience in what to do. So they don't know how to approach conversion rate optimization. Then we tried it to sell them a service where we could use Optibase to set up different tests, to help them strategize about how to approach conversion rate optimization, set up different variants, set up different conversion events, and then track the results and then analyze it and then improve the website with that. So we sunsetted that service for Optibase, but we've transitioned it to Flowout. So now Flowout has a conversion rate optimization service that we offer. We saw a very good thing that we could do with partners like you, for instance, is because we wanted to help other people start testing as early as possible. And we can achieve that by having multiple partner agencies like Broworks. And in that case, you already know the value of testing. You know the value of setting up A/B tests, conversion events, and everything else. And it's easier for you to talk with your customers than for us directly at Optibase say, you need to start testing. You are involved with the customer. You're already working on their website. You know why this is valuable, and you can transfer that knowledge a lot easier to potential clients, both of you of Broworks and of Optibase. So that's why we started the partner program. I think it's a very good opportunity to showcase Optibase to potential customers around the world with partner agencies, and then to give them an affordable solution that would bring them closer to their goal, which is in the end higher revenue for the company.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to all of these updates because it's gonna be amazing. I don't know about the other people, but I don't like switching tools all the time and using too many different ways of doing something. I know some people like that, but I don't. And like for me, it's better to have one tool. It's gonna do all. It's not gonna be like the most expensive tool, like affordable, and just go with that. And especially if people like you guys work constantly on improving and managing and stuff like this, then there is nothing better than that, right?
Yeah, I mean, all of you partners are giving us a bunch of information how you're using your product, how you're using Optibase with your customers. So you might have a need in a week, 2 weeks, a month for a specific feature that we don't have. That's a lot of insight that's very, very valuable to us. And we want to use that insight that you have. So the partner program is like, it's a partnership. So we help you by cross promoting your agency. You help us by cross promoting Optibase to your customers, and we can both grow from it and then build a better product together. So for us, feedback from customers is one of the most valuable things that we can get. Partner agencies are very happy to give us as much feedback as we need. So we
Yeah,
have an amazing product that they can easily sell conversion rate optimization to their customers as well. If
yeah.
Optibase was a shitty product, probably our partners wouldn't be recommending it to their customers.
Yeah, yeah. I was recommending it even before all of that, just because it was a great tool. That's how we came to all of this. And so from all of this stuff, I mean, you get obviously data, analytics, and all of this stuff. So how do you implement those analytics into design? How that changed design?
For me, I think it's a lot easier because I've been doing products for a very long time. But the
Hmm.
process is like this. So, for instance, me and you talk. You say, "Hey, Sergey, I have this problem with the customer, and they really want to track this in a way, or they're having problems with the current test setups, and we need a new feature that will support all of that." For instance, right?
Hmm.
And I'd be like, "Hey, I'm gonna talk with the dev team. We're gonna come up with a solution that's not going to take too much effort to implement." And then we're just going to implement it and test it out if it works or if we need anything else. So the process isn't as fast as I described it right now, but
Yeah,
it's more like communicating and discovering what the actual problem that you're trying to solve is. And then translating that into the design is usually very simple because, so I know the developers that I work with. So we come up with solutions on the spot. So it's like, hey, I have this problem, we need to fix it. And they're like, hey, what if we put a checkbox over there? Or what if we change this flow to incorporate this other thing
yeah.
inside?
Looking for feedback.
Um, yeah. And they are, I mean, they're all product people. So it's a lot easier for us to talk about the product that we're building together
Hmm.
because they know the patterns. They know product patterns from other tools that they've built in the past. They know what patterns we use in Optibase now. And it's a lot easier to think how a solution should be implemented. Um, yeah. For instance, one of the things that we got feedback a lot for was IP blacklisting, right? So we didn't have the support for that feature at all. And we were thinking, hey, is that going to be part of, for instance, user settings, domain settings? Is it going to be included somewhere else? How do we include IP blacklisting inside? And then we just found a solution, and it was
Yeah.
like that simple. Just put it in there, see if people use it, and that's it.
And okay, so for example, I know that a lot of people know about these tools and know about the A/B testing, but maybe they don't know how to use it properly. So, I mean? Can you tell like five things that everybody should know about A/B testings? Uh,
Oof. Know where
can
you
be
are
probably a lot.
starting. Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry.
so
Yeah.
the first thing would probably be know where you start. So
Mhm.
gather the data and analyze it to know where you currently are. You can't be better if you don't know where you currently are. So I think that is the most important part when you're starting out. Um, then you have to think about how you're going to approach testing. So what is going to be the first thing that you do? And you're going to think about, hey, do you have any analytics tools already set up? Do you have to set up another analytics tool to gather the data and to know where I currently am? What is the primary objective that I want users on my website to know about? What is the secondary objective? Are there any, what would be the next thing? So probably those. Just think about who your ideal customer persona is and how you're going to address him, and then incorporate that into the strategies that you have for testing. Know that traffic is king. So if you have a very small amount of traffic, you have to wait a very long time to get reliable data that you can analyze. If you have a lot of traffic, then you have to be wary about leaving the test on for too long. So so for instance, you have 1 million of traffic per month and you have 100K traffic to your landing page and you're testing. 100K is enough to get you viable data. It's enough to say, hey, this is enough. We're done with testing. Instead of missing out on all the potential conversions that we have by showing them variant B, C, and D, close this test down, go with the variant that performs best, and you're going to increase your conversion right away. So instead of waiting and waiting and waiting, you have to implement those changes as well. So I think making decisions is very crucial when you're A/B testing. So you know when to stop, when to start. I think all of that, and then analyzing user behavior. So currently, because Optibase doesn't have as much data yet, so the heat maps, the user recording sessions, stuff like that, you should rely on other tools. So you have to see what your users are actually doing on the website. And I think that that's also one of the important parts. For people that don't know how to test, we do have a bunch of resources on our website, optibase.io. We have how to start A/B testing ebook. We have a bunch of ideas on what to start testing first. So for instance, I know that MemberStack, they've added a bar above their nav bar on the top, and it was like conversion oriented. So click here to get a free trial demo or whatever it was. That increased the page visits for that specific landing page, like, I don't know, like X%, but it was a very, very big percent. I don't want to say it because I'm not sure what it was. But it was just a very simple bar at the top of the page, and that increased visits to that specific landing page that then converted people. So we gathered a bunch of ideas like that on our website. And for somebody that doesn't yet know where to start testing, it's good to maybe go over them, see if any of those ideas are good. If you can implement them, for instance, you can start testing different pricing pages. It can be like, hey, instead of people landing on a pricing page that has the monthly pricing for a product on it, test if the yearly plan would increase conversion. So when somebody comes in, variant B can show first the yearly plans instead of the monthly plans. And maybe users will then go back to the monthly plan on the same page and see, hey, that's not that much of money. And then compare how many yearly plans, monthly plans you get, which one of those works better. And it's a simple test that you can do and just see if it works.
Yeah. Okay. So I know there is a lot of tools like this. I mean, tools that help you with with your process, that helps you with automation, testing, even now AI. So, what do you think? How all of this stuff is are shaping Webflow agencies, for example, work?
I think it's a lot harder than it was when none of those tools existed or people weren't used to working with them.
They're created to be easier, not harder.
Yeah. But yeah, the workload has become bigger because of it. There's a lot more things that you have to think about. It's not just, hey, I'm going to build a website for a company. It's going to have an about page. It's going to have a benefits page. It's going to have the team page or stuff like that. It's more about focusing on what sells. It's like building funnels on your website, supporting visitors with the information that makes it easier for them to make a decision in the end if they want to go with you or if they want to go with another competitor. I mean, it's about empowering the visitors with information. And I think that there's a lot more strategizing on what you want to do with the website than it was like 10 years ago, for instance. It's very different. So yeah, I'd say that agencies right now that are starting out are having a harder time creating new websites and creating very good websites than what good websites were like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, everything is growing, ecosystem is changing, so we must adapt. I mean, I know that a lot of people complaining about like AI this, AI that, but That is happening all the time throughout the human history. I mean, there is always something that change everything, and you know, you just need to adapt. Like when cars are created, they just change literally
Mm.
everything, and then you needed to adapt. You cannot use horses anymore as much as you you did before. So there's the same thing with with the AI. So also, what do you think? What are the opportunities for the new tools in the Webflow ecosystem now?
Oh, interesting. So new potential apps that would fit in the ecosystem, you
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
Hmm. Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, we built a lot of them already. So if we get a very good new idea, we might just build it ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, so for now, I think
But
there's still,
maybe advices, if you don't know, maybe advices for people that can how can they can start building something for themselves.
uh, I think if you're using Webflow, you'll figure out where it is currently lacking. Um, I think agencies, and then you'll see what the problem that you have, what is the biggest problem that you have, and then you're going to address that problem and try to solve it. I don't know if I have an idea right now that would be like, hey, this is something that we need to build for Webflow to
Revolutionary.
make it better. Yeah, I don't think I have it right now, but it definitely got me thinking, and we might build something else in the future as well.
Oh, why
Um,
not?
there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities. Webflow itself has been doing an amazing job by building Webflow to what it is now. The
Mhm.
implementation of the new features that they have, like the AI stuff, I
Yeah,
mean, it's amazing. So probably half a year or a year down the road, Webflow is going to be different to what it is now, especially
yeah,
because of the AI implementation stuff. So they've introduced the color coding and everything with the AI, where you can create new components, and it's just click, 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 and you got it. And then you can change it a little bit and it's done, and that's it. Um, so it could be that they go into the direction where that is going to be a lot easier in the future. But I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot of opportunities probably.
yeah. That's fine. It's fine. I was just like asking. And okay, so what is your long term vision for Flowout and Optibase? I know these are like tough questions, but we are getting close to the end, so just want to ask you this.
So for Flowout, I think we still want to grow the agency a bit. It's grown a lot in the last 4 years, but we still, I think, are comfortable with growing it. We have an amazing team. We have a bunch of PMs that
Mhm.
are taking incredible, they're doing an amazing job with the teams that they are dedicated to. We had very good processes in place that help us as
Mhm.
founders to then not, so the company doesn't rely as much on us as it did a couple of years back.
Yeah.
We've set up good processes. Everything works almost by itself. And I think the long term vision is that we try to, us three as founders, try to distance from Flowout as much as we can. It's very hard, and we'll probably never be able to fully not work with Flowout.
Exactly.
But we are trying to do that to focus more on products. So Optibase for now is uh, we're trying to build the best tool that could help you analyze and increase conversion rate on your website, and also learn about user behavior on your website. So that is the vision for Optibase. We're going to be doing a bunch of new features with AI as well. So it's going to be easier for you to achieve all of that, like AI summaries of analytics of data, uh, an agent that will help you create new tests and conversion events, and it's going to be a lot simpler. But the idea is you have one tool where you can start creating new variants and tests, and then analyze that and see how users behave. So that's kind of the plan for Optibase. Um, there's so much feature that I think I could talk about right now and that we
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
implement.
Could
Uh,
take
but
much
yeah,
longer.
yeah.
Yeah. And what is your like final advice for all the agency founders, designers, marketing leaders, everybody working in the website industry? What is your advice for them?
So, oof, I don't know if I have one very good advice. It might be a connected stuff of things. So it would be like, um, think about who you are addressing on your website. Don't be afraid of testing even the craziest variants that you can think of. They just might work. Um, and then have fun and don't stress about things. I mean, life is just that. It's life, and work is just work. So
Yeah.
um, just focus on yourself as well. Not everything is about the agency that you're building or the work that you have to do for the customer. just enjoy it. Take the Saturday off or Sunday and go spend it with your family and friends. Um, I
That's
think
a yeah,
that's perfect. Yeah.
it's an amazing advice, really, because I think we're all not appreciating enough all of this stuff, thinking about work all the time, and know it's a hustle, it's difficult, especially in the beginning, but you know, just take some time to
Yeah.
rest a little bit.
I mean, everything's gonna be okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's better to take it easy than to burn out and
yeah.
then have problems down the road. Just yeah, take it
Yeah,
easy.
there are
Everything's
always
gonna be fine.
days when it's gonna be great. There are days gonna be terrible. It's just like that for the whole life. It's never gonna
Yeah.
be always great. Never is gonna be always terrible. So you just need to understand that and just go with the flow.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So for the end, just wanna ask you like a one final thing, and that is where people can learn more about Flowout, Optibase, you, where are you most active?
Phew, right now I think I'm not that active on any of the social platforms because I've been so busy working and
Yeah.
haven't been taking my own advice and spending it with friends and family. But I think that LinkedIn probably. I also have an X account like Twitter,
Mhm.
stuff like that. But if you want to try follow Flowout and follow Optibase both on LinkedIn, X, and other platforms, I think that would be best. We're trying to
You guys
be
have
as
YouTube?
active as possible. We
You
also
guys
have
have YouTube?
YouTube. Yeah, we also have YouTube. Thanks for reminding me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And will you be on a Webflow conference maybe? So maybe they can also see you there.
If anybody of the listeners or even you, Stefan, is going to be there, I'm excited to meet you there as well. We're going to be in New York for the whole 3 weeks or a month or something like that. So if you're
Oh, nice.
visiting Webflow Conf, shout out over LinkedIn, send an email to
Definitely.
Sergej at flowout.com. I'll respond. We'll grab a beer or a coffee or something.
Awesome. Awesome. Definitely, we need to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man, for being part of this conversation. I think it was very, very good. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, your experience. It was, yeah, I think it's going to help a lot of people in this, world.
Stefan, thank you for everything. This was an amazing podcast. I haven't been on that many of them, but this was probably one of the best. So thank you again for the invitation. And thank you again for joining the partnership program. I think it's going to benefit us both.
Yeah,
And yeah,
definitely.
thanks for everything. It's been
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. And thank you guys for listening, sticking to the end. As you notice, this episode is a bit longer. I think you're going to like it. And yeah, catch you on the next one. See ya. Bye.